Good afternoon, everyone. Pods for the homeless in Germany. Needing to change global food production report. EU gives the go-ahead for eating worms, dried mealworms on the plate. Reality check. Climate policy achievements. The CO2 keeps rising. It's our fault, although these companies continue to advertise to ad nauseum, but it's still your fault. Beautiful images here. Do you think it's a glacier on Greenland? Nope, Sahara Desert. Wow. I thought snow would be a thing of the past. Unless you're trying to control the populace even further. There's suggestions that our credit scores might be based on our internet history in the near future, the same way banks use data like income to judge credit eligibility. Now is how websites could use internet search history in the future. I won't let my internet history be used to judge my credit score. That's why I use Virtual Shield. You can head over to virtualshield.com, and in the download tab, I'm going to choose Firefox. And click Install Now to add the Virtual Shield add-on. It's just that easy. And get started with your free 30-day trial. Install it, click Connect. You'll see the shield turn from red to green. And you'll see how from my initial service provider, I was able to even change my IP. Virtual Shield Network protected. Go to virtualshield.com/adapt2030 for 50% off today, or click the link in the description box below the video. Now on with your cinematic enjoyment. Going to start you off here with the projection moving into the new grand solar minimum. Food production declines, economic strife, and population migration is what's been experienced through the last 5 grand solar minimums, going back over the last 2,400 years, and I call this the fingerprints of the grand solar minimum. Governments change, populations move, and the economy shifts. So in preparation for massive movement of population, German cities are already installing these pods for homeless to sleep in. Winters do get brutally cold in Germany. And it's the introduction for the society into where you may live. Smaller accommodations, bad social credit score, you're going to be in one of these. So it's being introduced as a homeless shelter, not as the permanent shelter for many moving forward. Pretty interesting. It's got a solar panel on it, bed inside, lights for the windows, shelving. And with the design materials, it's meant to capture body heat and then warm it internally. These would be great to have on campsites instead of a tent. It would be much more resilient, and you could get through much more intense storms, snowfall, etc. But to bring this in your backpack, I don't think so. But to have it on your land somewhere would be real interesting as an area for people to sleep in. But cities are deciding to move with this in Germany. You can see how this is going to move forward in the future. Because as a quote, a cry of survival comes from the planet itself. A cry that can't be any more desperate or any more clear. That was from Joe Biden in the inaugural address. Back to the climate accords, but wait, these companies continue. Infinitum, advertisement after advertisement. You need more, you need new. What are all those factories and transportation mechanisms involved in? These companies with endless advertisements to have you buy new things, yet blame you for the problems. You see where I'm going with the circle here. There seems to be just a small handful of companies here that owns all food production that you will consume out of a supermarket with so many ingredients grown overseas. We don't grow sugar to feed the supply for Coca-Cola. So we should really be pointing the fingers at these giant multinational corporations as the catalyst for the cry for survival from the planet. Yet they need to continue to make money. So looking at the reality check here, 30 years of climate policy achievements. Those blue dots going right up the curve there with Mauna Loa. Reductions? I don't think so. Perhaps it's natural variability. And moving over to the report, 2019 in August, we must change food production to save the world. This hero complex thing is getting a little bit old here because they put it out plainly in front of you. Cutting emissions from cars, factories, and power plants, not enough. It's a failure already. So adding in production changes to food that you can consume, oh yeah, that'll solve the problem for sure. Those other major emitters, forget the volcanoes too. That doesn't count, but just look at it. Eat insects. EU gives the go-ahead for eating worms. And you can see where this is going with the trajectory. Everything's blamed on you. Everything has to be cut. These dried mealworms, the larvae of beetles, are safe for humans to eat, but oh wait, quote-unquote, allergic reactions are likely to occur. Wow, that sounds so tasty already. Break out the champagne. So the crux of the article is there's now a protocol for production and processing of insects. What they do is they take the mealworms and then they starve them for 24 hours to clean out their guts, and then you have to boil them to eliminate potential pathogens and kill off the bacteria. Then you can turn them into a powder after they've been dried to 9% moisture. Then you can add it to your cookies, and that's going to be delicious. And that's the direction they want to move it, away from anything meat, because taking meat away from the whole equation is definitely going to now save everything, because reducing the power plants, the cars, and all those other things, it didn't work, but taking away meat is definitely that's going to be the golden spike in the railroad there. That's going to be it. Problem solved. We can all sleep easily tonight. And looking at this beautiful image here, if I were to ask you where was this photographed, you might say, wow, that looks like a glacier on Greenland. Look how intense the sun is. Must be high latitude. Nope, Sahara Desert, sand dunes. And you might ask yourself, that makes no sense because snowfalls are now just a thing of the past. Remember hearing that in the beginning of 2000, 2001, 2003 with all the predictions that we're still waiting to come true here. Location on the map, Sahara Desert. Right where it says Sahara, that's Algeria, Northern Africa. And the way the wind was blowing and then the ice formation along with the snow made these really discernible snow dune patterns. And headlines picking it up here, Sahara Desert turns into a winter wonderland in Algeria. It was the way that snow had crystallized and turned into ice particles, and then it was able to blow around and then follow the contours of the sand dunes themselves that made it so spectacular. Close-ups on ground still give you the perspective of the winter wonderland in January of 2021. Perhaps it's shifting jet streams from the grand solar minimum intensification that's causing all this absurd weather across the planet. But again, you would spook the global populace if you told them the truth, so just keep deflecting. More distractions inbound 2021. But what's not a distraction is the inavailability of food and food price increases that are about to hit us through 2021. I've said through many an interview in the last 3 weeks, food prices doubling by the end of 2021, possible rationing for meat and eggs in earnest by the end of this year. Give yourself the peace of mind having storable foods, 25-year shelf life, My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030, the 2-week or the 4-week emergency food supply. It's a great way to support the channel. That link's in the description box below, as well as the links to everything that you've seen tonight in the video with the images, the stories, so you can backcheck, do your own information search, and share this information with others. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.